All right, let's move right into Frank's charts. Last thing we're going to be doing here today. Appreciate the earnings roundup there, Matt. As always, a couple interesting charts in there and some big company names to keep on your watch list. Frankie, what you got for us here today? Obviously, end of the week, 4-day trading week. There's a lot of interesting stuff in technology that we already looked at. What are you watching?
Yeah, and when you go into tech, you've got lots of options, right? So you've got semiconductors, you've got XLK, you've got Microsoft, you've got SUMO, right? You've got PLTR. I mean, there's lots of choices if you like where the tech space is. So I'm not going to go too crazy in there. I want to look at AMKR with Maddie here. This was the one I want that we were going to see. Did he have this in his list?
AMKR. Hold on, let me check my list. No.
I'm gonna think no.
Yep. Yeah, Tim gave him 90%. I didn't like
this
the line.
was the one. All right. Yeah. You knew what your pick was. So all right. I guessed wrong.
You did. That's all right. That's all right.
I did look at it, Frankie. I did look at it.
Here's what I like about AMKR. I mean, it's in the tech space. It's in the semiconductor industry, right? And I obviously like those areas for some potential trades going into next week. I like that it's relatively inexpensive, so it's probably more of a stock play, right? Mm-hmm. Then which is fine in my opinion, at least. We've got a pinch developing between the rising 9 and that 50-day moving average. We tested the 50 a couple days ago. I always, with these major moving averages, the 200 and the 50, and I think Mark will probably echo the sentiment, I like to see it fail the first test. Could I expect it to? Right? We run into the 50, we push back, we snap right back with the broad market yesterday. Now we're pushing into that 50, which would also line up with a breakout of basically the weekly candlestick. Not a lot of overhead resistance on these guys. I'm not, whether we're going into that 2490 to by 25 area, that's kind of, stands out. You've got the little 1-day fake out breakout that occurred. The weekly, we've just closed back above the 9 and the 20 weekly. I don't see anything that scares me in an area that I like. I'm getting good risk to reward on this trade. My only hard rule as far as stop losses is the stop has to be below the 9 EMA on something like this. So I like the risk to reward that I'm getting. It puts me somewhere in the 3-to-1 ballpark based off kind of how I've got this thing prepped. What do you think, Maddie? Can I sign you up breaking? Did I do enough to sell you to add them to your list?
When I scan, Frank, you know how I scan. I look at a lot of charts simultaneously, yep. Right? Mm-hmm. And I don't do a lot of detailed scanning, so I'm going to miss out on
sure.
Just by the way I scan, I'm going to miss out on some, right? Because I really just look for pattern recognition. Mm-hmm. is what I try to do. From a potential reversal V shape, you're looking at a resistance level, and that's the key here for me. You're looking at a resistance level right there at 22 that you could see some quick price appreciation above. And so I do like it from a swing trader perspective. It's pretty clean above 22, and there's nothing technically until 24. And so when you're looking at a potential trade and you're saying, I got a $2 target on a stock that, it doesn't move like that, you're going to have a good reward to risk ratio here from 22 to 24. Stop loss placement allows you to even go underneath 21, mm-hmm. which is a beautiful stop loss. You might want to tighten that up just because of intraday analysis. I haven't done anything detailed, but you got flexibility on that stop loss with the potential breakout. I do like it aggressive, Frank, above 22. I don't think this is one you really kind of wait for, right? Because you could be at 23 and change. And so I do like it a little bit more aggressive above 22, but I do like the 22 handle.
That's about where I'm at as well. And I agree. You are, this isn't one that
I want to veto this
waiting
because it's a quick journey to 24 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Right. What do you think, Mark? Did we sell you?
Oh, I mean, you know me, man. You get a couple tests, hesitate at a major moving average, especially when that lines up with weekly moving averages, mm-hmm. and you're breaking old support, which the old support that doesn't act as new resistance checks all the boxes for me.
Yeah, that one. What's not to like? So I got the hat trick. Tim and Cody, do you guys, anybody want to fight it?
No,
He might.
not going to veto, not going to fight it. I see it. It's definitely combined with a couple of different trigger points, which is what you guys are talking about. I like it. I like it.
All right. Well, then you didn't have it, but now he does have it. So we're back on the same page, right? I just want to really briefly bring up ATH. I think we brought them up last week. I believe they're also in I want to say the stock report this week. Again, another one of the many high bases over in the financial space, continued to hold up, didn't break out, didn't even try right this week. So it didn't kind of give us that weird wick that, do I care about that thing? So still, in my mind, still very technical high base here on ATH, all-time high, as I call them. A week later, Tim, anything changed for you?
No, the trigger is really clear up there, just above that 63, 64 wick. You know how you play that. You know, you can trigger in, you can build a trade around it. Last time it broke out, it actually trended pretty nicely. It's a conservative kind of company in general. Finance is one of the top leading sectors, if not the leading sector in the market. So you're not going to get any fight from me on an ATH breakout on this high base consolidation.
So yeah, I mean they're an easy one, right? You either like those or you don't, and I think most people do. What about IPG? So this one may not be everybody's cup of tea.
Okay. Little flaggy flag.
So a little bit of flex. We kind of technically broke out, right, at the beginning of the week, have basically flagged, but still holding that breakout channel as we work back into that old resistance and as new support. Exactly, Tim, what I was thinking about, basically call it a mellow Cody special. Right, it's Cody special after a few drinks, maybe, I don't know, but it's drifted nicely back, forming a little bit of a flag on the breakout. Cody, that's a mellow Cody special. Can I sign you up?
You could probably sign me up for a smaller position, but you sign me up. I really want to see. I mean, when it did have this break, it wasn't the cleanest break, and it looks like it was kind of rejected, faded back into it. I like to see a strong break and then that recovery back. So,
okay, so it's not special enough, is what you're saying.
I'm hesitant.
It's a Cody, but it's not a Cody special.
I got you.
Is that what I call these now?
Yeah, this is like the cheap meal that you just get because you don't feel like cooking.
All right. I can get behind. I can get behind that. I can get behind the Cody not. So that's a Cody not so special. Cody likes it, but it doesn't give him that warm fuzzy feeling that he really wants.
Yep. True.
Gotcha.
So Cody, you don't like consistent trends on breakouts that come back into the old resistance point right on the 9 EMA?
I just wanted to see the break be stronger, and it just wasn't. It didn't really have the volume behind it.
I see what Cody's seeing. Like, I get it, right? Like, you break out and there's no umph. Like, no.
So yeah, there wasn't a lot of umph. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of.
I mean, that was just like, let's go and then let's come back. So.
Gotcha.
So
not
Cody,
special enough for Cody on that.
Cody not so special. I like it.
I'm with Cody on this one.
All right.
I'm not a veto. I'm moving on to round 2 and let's compare it against other stocks.
Sure.
Same industry.
Sure.
That's
I think you got to respect the cleanliness of the breakout and the snapback coming back in is clean as well. 34 seems like a trigger that's pretty simple. So I'd like to cross compare it against other stocks in the industry.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair way to look at it. Compare it to some of its friends, if you want to call them that, right?
Well,
all right.
They might not think they're friends.
They might not think they're friends. They might not. What about and I'm looking forward to talking with Tyler on this one because I know Ty. Dick's Sporting Goods. We had that big pop on earnings, starting to flag. Started to show an inside candle today. Right, we are an inside candle, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking at my screen now. Basically flagging after the big pop, and those earnings were sick, right, Maddie? Those were some ball.
They're impressive.
They were some really nice earnings. So just coming out of this flag, I think for me, I would probably say above today's high or yesterday's high, depending on how you want to roll, would be the signal for me. Want to make sure I'm coming out of that downward trend line. I think
97 makes sense here, Frankie.
So the 97 handle, and yeah, I would probably say I'm probably going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to probably say 97.50 would be mine. Looking at the hourly, but we're seeing the same thing, right? And that's kind of how the flags go. People are going to have their line drawn the way they like, and their eyes are going to gravitate towards round numbers or whatever the case might be. I do want to see us continue to hold these higher lows. That now again, we still have some day, but I would expect that we're about done here today. So I want to see that higher low hold that we've developed here today, but just a very simple flag based off of great earnings. Clearly got a great overall trend going on. Anybody sees something here to say, hey, leave that one alone, Frank? Because I think Matt and I are on the same page. Anybody seeing something that's saying, you know what, give it some more time, look elsewhere?
Not for me. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, no, go ahead, T.
A couple things. Number one, this is one of the reasons why I so love earnings roundup. And it's not often on the day of the earnings you have the technical entry on the day of that earnings roundup, right? About a week and a half ago, Dick's reported earnings late May. Matt broke it down. The numbers were incredible. It broke it out into a new high. We knew we needed something to develop, and you don't get to tell the market how to develop that next pattern, right? So here we are. We're flagging down. And the trigger's still got to happen, but I see it. I like it. And on the back of the analysis that we had from a week and a half ago, it makes me even like the pattern more because I know where that propelled move came from on that strong earnings report. So I like this one a lot.
All right. No pushback.
It looks very. I mean, it's pretty.
I think it's a simple trade, Mark. I think it's a trade above 97, stop underneath 95 on the backs of a very positive earnings response.
When somebody, if you were like, I'm going to find a great flag pattern and I'm going to just, hey, guess what? There's your chart right there. I mean, that's a pretty textbook.
Again, somebody might be looking at this saying, well, where's the up? Where's the buyers? Well, what do you think that candle looks like above 97 and 97 and a half? Mm-hmm. That's the buyers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very. I think you said it best, Cody. It looks like something that you would find in a textbook when you look at it. Will it play out that way? We'll hope so.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. And just maybe one more. I know we're up against the clock. This is just a reminder.
Real quick, if I could, Frank.
Yeah, Cody, of course.
The other thing I really like about this is there's an easy two trigger to get into this. The first trigger is on the flag itself, and the second one is going to be right at the top of the flag, which is also $100. Mm-hmm. So I like this as legging into it to get extra confirmation when that flag breaks. Okay. So I like this even better because of that.
Excellent point, Cody.
Yeah, that gives you that flexibility, which is always nice, right? Mm-hmm. You might not need the flexibility, but you always want it. Mm-hmm. You always want it.
And I always do this, but maybe like one more here.
Yeah, one more. And this is just going to be a reminder one. We talked about these guys a few weeks back, and that was LUMN, Lumen Technologies. We talked about a break of $15. You might recall, Maddie, these guys, we had a pretty good discussion on them a few weeks back, pushing into that resistance level. As you can kind of see, we're taking another run at that here today. This candle is going to give us a close of the 200 weekly mark. So we've breached it already, but this is going to be our close above the 200 weekly. And for whatever you might find interesting, it's worth, if we break 15, we're also taking out the 50 monthly moving average. That's for you there, Mark. So still a breakout that I think is very interesting. We haven't broken out yet. We may not. That's a lot of stuff, right, to get through. But the development has been pretty decent. I still like these guys as a breakout candidate.
And what I love about the development of that is that you tested multiple times over multiple months a support level and then upward ascension. I love that. That's one of my favorite charts. I mean, I look for that chart.
Yeah, that's almost textbook development for that type of when you're working into those long-term averages in particular, right? Because you expect those fights. So yeah, that one is, sure. I wanted to highlight again because I know we talked about it. No need to go into it any further, but it definitely has developed nicely since we last spoke.